Show me.
Hello everybody, Martial Arts Film Freak here, and I'm excited. Excited because one of my most anticipated games of the year is finally out. Sifu, a video game where you're this kung fu master who has grown up training your entire life, wanting to find the 5 people who are responsible for your master's death. I believe it's 5 people. And so the whole game is about you going through and taking down just hordes of people until you can get to the final boss and then get the final one. But the big catch to the game is every time you die, I guess you kind of level up, but then when you come back, you're older. And so you have to try to beat the game before you're just too old. It's a cool little catch to the game. There is a fantastic short film that they made starring a whole bunch of people, D.Y. Sao, Jay Kwan. Just really, really cool short film that you should go watch. I'll put a link here or whatever there, I think. Yes. You should go watch that after you watch this. And have I played this game? No, not yet. It just came out today. You'll see this next week. It came out last week, but today for me, and I haven't played it yet. But I wanna. It just looks really good, looks fantastic. I've been waiting for it ever since I saw the trailer like 2 years ago. I love the people that made it. They made a fantastic game called Absolver. And you know, anytime I can get a martial arts video game, I will be excited for it. So, what if we lived in a world where we got more movie tie-in video games? But good ones. Like the Incredibles game. That was a good game. But what if we got some video games based on martial arts movies? What martial arts movies would we see? Would we like to see as video games? It's very interesting. One of my favorite games growing up was a game called the Bouncer or Bouncers. I don't remember what it was called. It was great. It's a fantastic martial arts game. My favorite video game of all time, Sleeping Dogs. Just, I can't talk about how much I love it enough. It's so good. But what if we had more? Alright, I'll stop yapping. Here are 10 martial arts movies that would make awesome video games. Number 10 is number 10 because it's simply too obvious. Number 10 is The Raid Redemption. Now, The Raid Redemption is obvious because, I mean, it's about a group of cops, one of them particularly being the martial artist, Iko Weiss, storming an apartment building and having to go up level after level after level until they get to the main bad guy. Things don't go right, but, you know, it already seems like a video game, but I think you could take it further. I think you can make a few changes to make it more gamey. First of all, the gameplay of Sifu, from what I've seen, is already very Raid style. The story especially, you know, you have to get, every level you go to is a different boss, and then you have to go through a group of guys until you can eventually get to the big bad guy. It's already very Raid style. It looks great. I would just do that. But to expand upon the game, make it something a bit more bigger to play, so it's not just an easy go up 15 levels and you're good, I would make it to where, like, I would make the apartments bigger, the whole complex. I would make it bigger and grander. This would add more different style of levels. Maybe certain levels you have to be stealthy. Maybe certain levels you get a gun. Maybe some you don't. You just have to rely on your martial arts. I think that would be really cool. Get some Batman or some Spider-Man style stealth stuff in there. I'm not saying go full Batman or Spider-Man. I don't want them crawling in grates or swinging from, you know, wall to wall, but stealth would be fun. I've been enjoying some stealth games. What Ghost of Tsushima did fantastic. I love the stealth in that game. Maybe the stealth isn't, you know, mandatory. Maybe it's optional, like in Ghost of Tsushima. You don't have to be completely stealthy. You can go into an area and just hack and slash people to death. Maybe that could be the case for this. Get a nightstick, get a knife, get a machete, so maybe eventually get a gun. You could do some really cool stuff. Create new bad guys so you can have more bosses. Of course, you're going to have the machete boss. The final big boss is going to be Mad Dog, of course. Maybe even somehow manage to make it a 2-player in some kind of way. Maybe like, what was it called? A Way Out. Make it a 2-player with you and the brother fighting against Mad Dog. Could do some cool stuff with that. But create more bosses so you can get some cool more boss fights. I just think that you could expand upon it more than just be go up level after level after level. It could be a lot deeper than that. Number 9 is 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Now this one is weird because it's not a lot of action. The movie does not have that much action. It's training almost the entire film up until the last 20 minutes. What you could do is you could make 36 Chamber of Shaolin an action platformer. You could have the whole game take place pretty much within the grounds of a temple, and as you unlock the next chamber, what the next chamber, or what every chamber would be, is training, platforming, jumping from stuff, the way he does on the water and all that. You would go through every single chamber doing a whole bunch of crazy missions or side quests, whatever kind of thing, and each chamber would teach you new abilities, and you would utilize those abilities at the end of each chamber until the end of the game, where you would get to utilize all of those abilities you learned in every single chamber and take on the bad guy. I think there was an Xbox game called I Ninja or something like that. I don't know. It's very similar to that, but I think it would be dope. Maybe even throw in like some philosophical stuff, like have your character learning lessons throughout the game, not just skills, so that at the end of the game, whenever you do like leave the temple to go fight the bad guy, maybe you kind of make that moral decision, like, am I a monk now? Do I not kill him? Do I do this? What do I do? You kind of have to make these moral decisions throughout the game since you are becoming a Shaolin monk. I think that would be interesting. Number 8, Undisputed 2 and Undisputed 3. Now with Undisputed, I know this is maybe one of the weirder ones. How would you turn that into a video game? But hear me out. I got one word for you. Maybe two. Okay, it's a lot of words. Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay. Now some of you may be wondering, I'm confused, why are you bringing up a Vin Diesel movie right now? But the nerds watching this are gonna be like, I see what you're doing here, and I like it. Now, Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay told the story of Riddick Pitch Black. It showed the story of how he got the eyes. He was in Butcher Bay, the prison, and he just had to navigate the prison. You had to do fetch quests, getting stuff for people, cigarettes, all this crazy stuff. How did he get the eyes? You got to do this crazy side mission. That's how he gets his eyes, and get his escape. Got to do all this. It takes place entirely within the prison, and it's dope. I think you could do that with Undisputed. And the only reason I'm saying also Undisputed 3 is because I would prefer to play as Boyka instead of Michael Jai White, because Boyka is the better character. And if you make him as good as a villain he is in the movie, in the game, you would want to continue his story in the next game. So you would want to be Boyka. So you could do like these fetch quests in the prison, make it like just GTA 3, dirty, grimy, San Andreas style. And just doing crazy stuff, doing all these awesome fights within the prison, maybe have some boss fights, learning new skills, and then with the big fights, the in-ring stuff, maybe you can make that like a one-on-one fighting game, but also since you're introducing like ground combat, your jiu-jitsu, you could maybe like bring in like UFC video game style fights. I think that could be interesting. Of course, you want to be able to do all the crazy Boyka stuff. You want to be able to box like George Chambers or whatever Michael Jai White's name is. You want to be Boyka, don't you? But, if you're going to do the jiu-jitsu, if you're going to do that stuff, then I think you would probably have to have moments where it goes more UFC. But I think that could work. You could try to blend a Tekken style with the UFC style. Make it one-on-one like a fighting game, but then eventually when it goes to the ground, it turns into like the UFC games. It's complicated, but I think that complication would be dope. What are we on? Number 7? Number 7, Operation Condor and Armor of God. This one's simple. It really is. It's Uncharted with Kung Fu. That's it. I don't gotta say nothing else. Because those movies are pretty much just Indiana Jones, but with Jackie Chan. Just give me Uncharted, but with martial arts. There are hand-to-hand fight scenes in the Uncharted series, but the only character I can think of that can actually do anything with good martial arts is Nadine, and you never get to play as Nadine. She's sort of an anti-hero bad guy in the 4th game. She becomes a main character in a spin-off fantastic game called, what was it even called? Uncharted, Lost Legacy. Great. But you never really play as her, so you don't get to do any good martial arts. I want Uncharted with martial arts. That's all I want. Give me Uncharted with martial arts. Keep it the same level as serious, maybe a bit more comedy in there. I mean, Nathan Drake is a bit comedic because he's a smartass, but make it a bit more comedic in certain aspects, but keep it Uncharted. Just be Uncharted with martial arts. Give me Operation Condor, but it's Uncharted. That's easy. Number 6, keeping it Jackie Chan. We're going Project A. Now, the cool thing with picking a Three Dragons movie is you get 3 different protagonists to choose from. If you did it in sort of like an open world kind of thing, you could even bounce between characters the way you bounce between characters in Grand Theft Auto 5. Each one of them has their own side missions and story aspects, but eventually they all come together for like a final mission, that being them bringing down the bad guy in Project A. All of them would also have their own sort of fighting style. Jackie Chan would maybe be a bit more freestyle, have a bit more stunts to do. Yuan Biao would be more acrobatic, and then Sammo Hung would be a bit more fighting dirty and a brawler because he's a bit of a criminal in that movie. I think that would be awesome. And of all the Three Dragons movies, why Project A? Easy. Pirates. Pirates are fun. Pirates are cool. Pirates make for good video games. You could do some interesting stuff with Kung Fu and pirates in a video game. I think that would be interesting, and I would play the hell out of that game. Wouldn't you? I think you would. I mean, would you play frickin' Assassin's Creed 4? Black Flag 4? You played it for Ninja Pirates. You were a ninja pirate. Yeah. Number 6, Ong Bak. Now this one doesn't have to be crazy. I just want to be Tony Jaa. I just want to do the awesome things Tony Jaa does in Ong Bak. But there's been a Tony Jaa game. I believe they made a Protector game. I don't think they made an Ong Bak game. They did the Protector. I don't know if it only came out in Thailand or what. I hear it's terrible. It looks terrible. It looks really bad. But I would play Ong Bak. Just let me do the Ong Bak things. I just want to do Ong Bak. Let me play through Ong Bak. Did I say that was number 5? I don't remember. But number 4. Number 4 would be Righting Wrongs. Righting Wrongs because... I'm going to turn my screen brightness down because I don't even know how high that's up. So, Righting Wrongs because... When was the last time we had a good, like, cop mystery game, true crime game? Was it like L.A. Noire? That was a while ago. So this could be like 2 different sides of gameplay. You could do mystery investigation gameplay, and then also crazy action kung fu gameplay. You'd also get 2 main characters with 2 different distinct fighting styles. You would get Cynthia Rothrock, where you'd get to do cool Cynthia Rothrock stuff, and then you get Yuan Biao, where you get to do cool Yuan Biao things. And you also get to do investigations, and then fights, and then shooting, and then fights, and then investigations, and fights. It's not really that complicated, people. Make this game! Number 3, BKO Bangkok Knockout. Now this one's already almost a video game. Maybe you gotta rewrite a few story things because a few of the story aspects, character aspects, dialogue of BKO Bangkok Knockout are a bit cringe, don't hold up even though the movie only came out in 2011. Thai comedy is odd. I'm not a fan. But their action, oh lordy, it's some of the best you're ever gonna find in your life. Make the story focus, of course, on our heroes. Every single one of them are making a mystery. You want to find out, why are we trapped in this building? What the heck is going on? Fights coming at us, people coming at us, but then also each protagonist, just like in the movie, would have their own fighting style. You got a wushu guy, you got a taekwondo guy, you got I don't even know what that dude did. You got a brawler, you got what happened? You got a capoeira guy. You got just everyone. Everyone did cool things. Just do it. Just make that game. I know it's pretty much just Tekken and all those different games where everyone has their own style. But I'd play BKO. You got the Jason Voorhees guy that you just got to keep hitting even though he's never going to die. Set him on fire. Set him to hell. I mean, it probably wouldn't be a great game, but damn, it'd be nuts. Number 2, 5 Elements Ninja. 5 Elements Ninja could be possibly one of the most interesting things you could do for a video game. It would be awesome. It would be awesome having to learn new abilities to take on the next group of ninja, the next element of ninja. Of course, having to fight. You know, this one has this ability. This one has this ability. Having to prepare, having to train, and get abilities to fight just a group of ninjas that's going to do something completely different and nuts that the last group did. I'm struggling. Like, you got like the gold one, you got the red one, you got the blue one, you got the green one, you got the. There was a lot of them. There was 5. It's not a lot. But each of them has their own different abilities, different weapon, different tactics, and you have to adapt to those abilities, weapons, and tactics. I think that would be interesting. And if you went crazy with like the environments of each different group of ninjas and their uniforms, you could make an absolutely beautiful game, like Ghost of Tsushima. I brought it up again because it's great. And number 1, I mean, this one's so easy. It's the Raid 2. Come on, do it. Cowards. And with the Raid 2, what I pretty much want is just Sleeping Dogs again. We're never going to get a Sleeping Dogs sequel. It's almost the exact same plot. It's a dude who's undercover, and he's got some moral choices, and the action gets nuts. It just is great. It just makes Sleeping Dogs again. But make a sequel, make it The Raid 2. That's all I want. I mean, don't you? You've got the fantastic story, you've got his undercover story, you've got his morality, you've got whether he even knows if, like, the police are actually on his side, because there's that one part where a bunch of police come after him. You've got all the stuff in prison. You could do some dope stuff with the prison fights. You've got the car chase. You can have an amazing car chase in the game. You got all the gun stuff. You can do some crazy gun stuff. It's just, maybe even follow some other characters for parts of it. Just make The Raid 2 into a video game in the style of Sleeping Dogs and call it the spiritual successor to Sleeping Dogs. Please, because that's all I want is another Sleeping Dogs game, and it's never going to happen. And I love The Raid 2, so just make The Raid 2 a video game, and not that Flash game that they put on the website when the movie came out that you could play for like 5 minutes. That was fun, but it wasn't Sleeping Dogs. I want Sleeping Dogs 2, but make it The Raid 2. Do it! Sorry, I blacked out of my rage of not being able to play a Sleeping Dogs sequel, because that studio decided they would rather make an online multiplayer game when all the fans just wanted a sequel, and then it drove them out of business because nobody wanted to play their online game. Why did you do that? Also, like, I mean, instead of Kung Fu, you have Silat. I think it would be really cool to have Silat in a video game. Of course, The Raid would do that as well. You know, Sleeping Dogs with Silat in Indonesia. That would make me very happy. But tell me your thoughts on this list. What martial arts movie would you like to be a video game? Hero? Crouching Tiger? I don't know. Let me just stare at something and pick one. District B13. That would make a pretty dope game. I just saw District B13 just stared me in the eyes and said, "You idiot, why didn't you pick me? I'm sorry." It would be a good choice. Parkour! I didn't pick a single Donnie Yen movie. Did I? No. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. If you had to pick a Donnie Yen movie to be a video game, you would do Special ID because that's already Sleeping Dogs. So instead, Flashpoint? Maybe Dragon? I don't know. There's a reason I didn't pick a Donnie Yen movie. It's because there's already video games that are kind of Donnie Yen movies. Dragon Tiger Gate would be fun. That's just anime. Never been a bad anime game. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. What movie would you like to see as a video game? What martial arts style video game would you like to see as a movie? Would you like another Tekken movie? I would. One that's, you know, totes solid. I wouldn't mind another one of those. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head over to Facebook, where there is the Martial Arts Film Freak Facebook page, Instagram, Martial Arts Film Freak, Tristan_Glover on the Twitter, and Martial Arts Film Freak on TikTok, where I'm trying. I'm also trying to do a lot more on Twitter, you know? Over the years, not really posting much on Twitter. Over the past few weeks, I've done a bit more. And sure, it's mostly just because Food for Thought is over there, and I'm like, you know what? He's stepping up his Twitter game, and I should step up my Twitter game. But you know what? More Twitter game for everybody just makes the world a far better place. Clearly. Oh. But thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.